Well, the holidays can be fun and festive, but they can also teach us financial lessons that can be useful all year long. Local CPA Phil Umansky is back with us today. Happy holidays, Phil.
Happy holiday to you, Cheryl.
Good to see you. A lot of people are saying happy holidays right now, but when those bills start coming in, it might not be so happy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So this is the time actually to start thinking ahead to next holiday season and start putting maybe a little bit of something away every week or so.
What I would suggest is at the end of this month, figure out how much you did spend, maybe per person. On your holiday. So just as an example here, let's say that you spent per person $600 this year.
I want to be on your list.
Okay, $600. Well, you told me one day that the average amount to be spent this Christmas was, I forget what it was, but it was an amount.
It wasn't close to $600 per person.
It wasn't, okay. All right, so let's say it's $600 per person. Okay, so what you can do beginning in January is take that $600 and divide by 12 months and go ahead and put in your savings account $50 per month.
Okay, you're saying $600 total that we're going to spend on the budget. I thought you were going to spend $600 on each person on your list.
Well, you know, some people do spend $600 per person, but whatever it is, go ahead and budget for next year, and that way, you may put on a credit card to get the cash back, but then you can easily pay it off because you've got the money in advance.
Right, because we've talked about the fact if you buy on a credit card, by the time you pay interest, all those sale items weren't really a deal at all.
Absolutely. Now let's assume you did put on a credit card. What you want to do is try to pay it off as quickly as possible. So let's say that you do have maybe $600 on a credit card. So you got to say to yourself, all right, how many months will it take me to pay that off? So let's say that you could do it in two. And two is not too many. You won't have too much finance charge on that. So take the $600, divide by 2, and that's going to give you $300 per month. Maybe try to get that paid off in January and February.
So think about credit as maybe borrowing for a month or so, not for the entire year to pay it off.
Absolutely. And it's not something that you want to keep adding to. In other words, you want the debt from last year not to be your debt for this year as well. So.
Right. And some people are probably still carrying debt from a year or two ago, which
Absolutely.
is not a good thing.
No.
This is the time of year we talk a lot about Scrooge and being a little frugal. That's actually probably a good idea, isn't it?
It's good to be frugal. I mean, you never want to take things to extremes. So, there's a lot of things that we learn in terms of the holiday traditions about giving. And I do want to emphasize that really there are a lot of people out there that have great needs. And really about 30% of charitable giving is during December. And so if you do have a little extra money, go ahead and try to give to somebody. So
think about the Scrooge transition where he became a little more generous and giving and loving.
Well, these traditions that go on through Christmas really teach us a lot of lessons. And in a way, Scrooge changed his financial plan, right? Not only did he not want to give to others, he didn't want to give to himself. I mean, it was like button the hatch down. So yeah, now we can think about, we're in good shape perhaps financially. And I wanted to mention to you, the stock market's at an all-time high. We got the Tax Act that we may discuss in January. So people are feeling wealthier and they're actually spending more this Christmas. But you also need to think about the people that are hurting and try to give to any number of charitable organizations, many religious organizations, Salvation Army. I could just name a whole lot that can use money to help people that are not doing as well this Christmas.
And every little bit helps in giving to charity, but also if you're giving gifts to family and friends, they don't have to be extravagant. You don't have to spend $600 per person.
Exactly. Think what's more important is a gift that's appropriate for somebody, but you're absolutely right. It doesn't have to be expensive. And I really do think in this day and age, sometimes parents overdo it with toys and all of that to kids who forget about them maybe in 5 or 6 days when they go back to school.
Right, because this is really the time to think about the true meaning of Christmas.
And I've got some sayings here if the camera can catch these. These are things I looked up on the internet. And we know that one of the most popular songs is Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas. But here's an interesting one from David Thoreau. The way you spend Christmas is far more important than how much. Jesse Jackson, your children need your presence more than your presence. Winston Churchill, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. And the famous J.C. Penney, who you might think is very pecuniary and wants you to do business, even says we should make the Yuletide season an occasion not merely for giving of material things, but an occasion of giving that which counts infinitely more, and that is the giving of oneself. So we want to think about that lesson as well during the Christmas and holiday season.
Yeah, I've been reading that experience gifts are big this year, giving maybe come to dinner with me, or let me take you to the movies, or let's go skiing or bowling or something like that. A gift where you spend time with someone rather than just giving them a material thing.
Absolutely. In fact, I can give you a personal experience. Just yesterday, my wife asked me, put down January 20th, and I could look that up. I guess it's some maybe play coming.
Okay.
But it's an experience gift. So what that means is that I'm going to remember that. I'm going to have to take her out to dinner before that. And so that's going to be something I'm going to remember for a long time, as opposed to just a physical gift that I may use or may not use. So experience gifts are always memorable.
That's wonderful. Now, you did mention the tax bill that was approved yesterday. We're going to talk a little bit about that after the first of the year. But as you watch the approval of that, what was the one big takeaway we should look at?
The big takeaway, and I heard this, I can't remember the reference, but generally 80% of people will have a tax cut, 80%. Now, there are going to be some individuals that actually are going to be paying more on taxes, and that's because they are perhaps have high property taxes or state taxes, and that's going to be only capped at $10,000. People that have second homes, because they are paying property taxes on 2 homes, may not benefit as much. In fact, may have more taxes that they have to pay.
Well, as we have more of a chance to take a look at that and assess it, we'll take a look at it with you after the first of the year. Thank you, Phil, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you as well.
Thank you so much.